So spring's coming and turkey season is coming. So you got to figure out which call are you going to need to use, or which call do you want to have. If you're new to turkey hunting, that can be quite confusing. I've got a bunch of calls setting here that represents kind of what you're going to see in the store. I have some friction style calls, meaning box calls. I have friction style calls as in slate calls. And then I have just an assortment of diaphragm calls sitting here. When you go into a store, this can be confusing to say the least. So I'm going to try to give you some little things to look for. If you're brand new to turkey hunting and you don't have never used a call, but yet you want to get out there and the season creeped up on you, you weren't ready for it, I would tell someone, here's the call you want to start with. It's a spring hen. When they call it the spring hen is because it's spring loaded. The call works itself basically, is all you got to do is push a button. It's pretty daggone simple. Now I'm going to take the strap off there. We'll talk about that in just a second and what it does. Now when you take this call out of the package, all you do is this. Makes good cluck sounds, making some yelping sounds. Just a longer push on the button, that's it. You'll see this is grooved on the top here, and you can slide this through there and you can attach this to your gun barrel. And then what you do is you take this string on the end, tie a loop in it that fits around your finger so that it'll look something like that. And then when this is mounted on your gun, you can now run it with one finger just by moving your finger. Pretty handy little call. So if you're looking for a call that's pretty daggone easy, spring hen is it. But there's one that is almost as easy as that, and I believe it gives you a little more versatility and it's going to give you a little more authentic sound, and that's a box call. Box calls can be confusing though, because like for instance, I have one here called the Battleship Heartbreaker. And I don't know about you, but unless you're going to beat the turkey over the head, I probably wouldn't carry this call into the woods with me. It's humongous. I don't have any need to carry a call that big because it is super loud though. Nice call, it looks really good, and it does get through the wind. It's super loud, that's why it's so big. But when you get into more of the types of calls that you'll probably use, then we'd be looking at like a box cutter. It's got one finger cut out here. Doesn't take a long time to learn this call either. So box calls can be a pretty good call to pick up. And I got another one here called the wet box. Doesn't use any kind of chalk. You don't put anything on this surface. The surface has been treated on the top of the box itself and on the back of the lid so that you never have to change anything. Sounds pretty good. And again, it's not near as big as that first one I showed you. So box calls can be great. I do a lot of bow hunting for turkeys. And so bow hunting, we typically want to get out of carrying anything at all. We want to have hands free. So what I find is I lean toward diaphragm calls. But if I had to choose a turkey call that sounded the most authentic, in my opinion, it would be a slate call. And let me show you, I'll demonstrate on this Freak Crystal. Slate call is a little more difficult to learn, but it's not real hard. Basically, you're holding this stick like you would a pencil. But then I tell people is put it straight away from you. So you got it like this, like you're going to write your name, point it straight away. You're holding this in your hand like so. Now there's a little bit of variation in this particular slate call, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. Very nice sound. You can make some other small sounds with this. That's just me moving that striker around on there to get those very soft, subtle sounds. So this call, like I said, is probably my favorite. It's the most versatile call. It's not extremely difficult. It's not near as difficult to use as such as a diaphragm call. But anyhow, so if you're looking to go out there and buy a call and you're trying to figure out which one that you would want, and this is for someone who just doesn't know which call they want to try, and they're just getting into turkey hunting, then I would say you want to go with a friction style call, possibly the spring hen or a box call. That's where I would definitely start.